Now it's time for 12 MMOs you might be looking forward to in the year 2015. PlanetSide 2 is a free-to-play, massively multiplayer online first-person shooter game. It's a remake of the original PlanetSide, which was released in 2003. The PC version, which came out in 2012, currently holds the Guinness World Record for the biggest first-person shooter battle with 1,158 players in a single battle. It's definitely worth picking up on PlayStation 4 when it comes out. EverQuest Next is the successor to the popular EverQuest series of games and looks to return to a style of gameplay more like the original, while retaining the advances in MMORPG design that have developed in the years that have since followed. It's particularly exciting for people with PS4s because it's another sweet online massively multiplayer game you can play. Developed by IMC Games in Korea, Tree of Savior is being called the spiritual successor of Ragnarok Online. Tree of Savior features 2.5D graphics with anime-style characters, and it looks pretty sweet. There's a long list of features that make it sound very interesting, including 200 bosses. Tree of Savior looks like it's going to bring some serious nostalgia as well as intense gameplay to the table. Good lord, look at this. Created by Jaeger Development and published by Greybox Games, DREADNOUGHT looks like a pretty intense multiplayer combat flight simulator. The game is meant to give you the experience of a ship captain rather than that of a rogue in a smaller dogfighting ship. You're going to be positioning the ship, choosing targets, allocating power to various parts of your ship, and generally enjoying the power trip it gives you. SKYFORGE is a free-to-play third-person action MMORPG, and look at it. In the game, the player is an immortal with incredible power, first battling to save their world from armies of hostile gods and eventually becoming one. Once God mode is achieved, SKYFORGE includes an additional progression system on top of the normal progression system, which is not level-based, and who really cares, because look at this. Oh my gosh, look at this. H1Z1 is a massively multiplayer survival sandbox set during a zombie apocalypse in the rural United States. You're going to have to deal with natural elements, hordes of the undead, and thousands of potentially hostile survivors. It emphasizes on multiplayer cooperation, trading, and team building. And guess what? There's no safe zones at all. Expect to be difficult, but a worthwhile challenge. Wander's the first title that I've seen in this list that is narrative-focused. Developed by Loki Davidson, Wander is set in a peaceful fantasy setting populated by shapeshifters. It encourages players to reveal more of the story by cooperatively exploring new areas of the game world. The fantasy setting depicted in this game looks absolutely beautiful, and who doesn't want to be a griffin? I see no hands. Do you like real-time strategy and role-playing games? Well, guess what? This MMO called Kingdom Under Fire 2 is your jam. The player controls a hero who can command various troops. The player has full control over their character to run around freely with their troops following them. However, when controlling other units, the game plays like a typical RTS, with cannons and castle walls and spearmen. It looks gorgeous, looks like fun, so please give it some consideration. The Division is inspired by Operation Dark Winter and Directive 51, which are both real-world events which unveil how vulnerable the United States has become in a modern era as society has become more fragile and complex. In other words, it's a multiplayer third-person shooter with role-playing and survival elements. There's an outbreak, there's a worldwide conspiracy, it's third-person, it's massively multiplayer, it's extremely cool-looking. What's in this box? You'll never know! Are you in need of some serious online hack-and-slash action? I know I am. Lost Ark Online looks to deliver that in spades. With a very diverse skill set and amazing animations for all of them, the world of Lost Ark Online looks huge, incredibly diverse, detailed, and look at this bridge falling apart. Don't tell me that isn't cool. It is. I can't wait for this game. Warhammer 40,000 Eternal Crusade is a third-person shooter in a science fiction environment. Taking place on the planet of Arcona, the game will launch with 4 main playable races, or factions as they're called in-game. There are Orcs, Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, and the Elder. It's limited free-to-play, but most of the player classes are behind the paywall. If you're into industrial fantasy, I would say this is the MMO for you. Black Desert is an upcoming sandbox-oriented MMORPG, and frankly has some pretty sweet stuff to set it apart. including a parkour system like that of Prince of Persia or Assassin's Creed, a dynamic worldwide weather system, mounted combat, and some extremely detailed character customization. Oh yes, oh yes. If you like sandbox games and some pretty awesome looking combat, this is the game for you. In the comments, I want to know exactly which one of these you are anticipating the most. My personal favorite, probably Lost Ark Online. Them animations. Also remember to like, favorite, and of course subscribe to gameranx. Thanks a whole lot for watching.